How many thugs have you killed already in this game?
Subdued, Mello. Batman doesn't kill, remember? That would break his code of ethics.
Holy cow. Sweet Jesus.
Still alive. If they die now, that's on the paramedics.
So you win again. It's a shame that while you've been fighting, I've had everyone you love brutally murdered.
Greetings all, my name is Kontrol. I'm a professional artist, a huge fan of classic Marvel and DC Comics, and Batman.
Kontrol. Batman is a dedicated crime fighter, a genius-level intellect, and a master of martial arts.
That's right.
And a billionaire.
Okay, so I'm most definitely not Batman, but I play him on TV with my Xbox controller. The Batman Arkham game series started way back in 2009, so like many of the titles we've reviewed on this channel, some of my very young gamers might not understand the significance of it. To put it frankly, Batman was by far the best superhero-based video game ever made on its release, and it's really not even close. Anyone who argues with that statement probably has an Asylum in their immediate future, so steer clear if you know what I mean. One big reason Arkham Asylum was such a home run is developer Rocksteady's approach to the Batman character himself. Batman is one of those guys who has been around long enough to be interpreted by literally hundreds of different writers. Some great, some stupid, some both. Frank Miller. The reality is, not everyone is on the same page when it comes to nailing down just who this Bruce Wayne character is. Bob Kane's original incarnation of Batman is significantly different from the modern Caped Crusader, and he bore no resemblance at all to Adam West's Batman TV comedy hour. Well, half hour.
How did Batman end up as a goofy TV show anyway?
Apparently some people think a billionaire putting on a cape to fight clowns and penguins is silly.
Well, what are you supposed to wear to fight clowns and penguins?
The trick for any team looking to put their personal imprint on Batman is first getting the mandatory elements right. In the case of Arkham Asylum, Rocksteady looked to the most definitive interpretation of the character we'd ever seen up until that point. Batman, the animated series. Yes, it would be nice if the comics provided such a resource, but the decades of material there are basically a hit-or-miss grab bag of dodgy continuity. Yeah, that goes for the klutzes over at Marvel too. Batman the Animated Series provided Rocksteady with their lead writer, the voices of Bruce Wayne and the Joker. Maybe Harley Quinn too, don't quote me on that. So right from jump, the player is met with a familiar tone in the presentation that sets them right at home with the ensuing action. If nothing else went right with the game, we could at least count on a solid interpretation of the world and the characters. This is actually a pretty big deal, as Batman fans know full well how fast things can go off the rails when incompetent hands are at the bat wheel.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. Ten Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns.
That's an actual thing that happened. The former governor of California, ladies and gentlemen.
Explains a lot, doesn't it?
What elevated the project to legendary status, though, is the way Batman's abilities are integrated into the game mechanics. Every advantage our hero brings into action is expertly translated into player-controlled features intuitively. Batarangs, infrared vision, grappling cables, stealth, etc. They're all introduced in situational context. New abilities are learned and leveled up throughout, so the Bat just gets more and more badass as you go. Of course, Batman's peerless fighting skill is the most compelling game mechanic of all, and I remember at the time thinking Rocksteady's combat system was the best ever conceived for a 3D adventure game. Leagues more interesting than the hack and slash button mash affairs that were considered customary at the time. I played Arkham Asylum just days after completing God of War 1 and 2 on my PlayStation. Two AAA classic games that felt downright weak in the combat department compared to Batman's tactical combo system. Not to mention the bone-shattering impact of the blows in the Arkham series. It's as satisfying as these things get. This Bruce Wayne may not kill, but he will happily cripple.
Yay!
By the time we got to Arkham Knight, the fourth and final game in Rocksteady's series, Batman was facing off with so many enemies in a single room you'd think Gotham City's chief export was human clones. This insanity was enabled by a combat system that allowed a single combo to essentially extend to infinity. And yeah, fans of Devil May Cry or Nier Automata may think those games do it better, but they shouldn't. Moving on.
Oh, snap.
Now, the setup for the action in Arkham Asylum is based loosely on Grant Morrison's graphic novel, Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth. Here's the wiki breakdown for you.
The Joker, Batman's arch enemy, has instigated an elaborate plot from within Arkham Island, where many of Batman's other foes have been incarcerated. Batman investigates and comes to learn that the Joker is trying to create an army of Bane-like creatures to threaten Gotham City. Throughout the night, Batman is forced to deal with the temporarily admitted sane prisoners from Blackgate Prison: Scarecrow, Zaz, Poison Ivy, Bane, Killer Croc, and Harley Quinn.
From the perspective of a game designer, this premise is just perfection. A neatly contained setting for a superhero that features his entire rogues gallery of villains and hordes of thugs for a completely logical reason. There is danger and action around virtually every corner because the hero is necessarily outnumbered. The good news for Bruce is Arkham Asylum was apparently designed specifically to give him the edge in every room. Vents are large enough for an adult male to easily move around in, and they have covers that are easily removed silently without tools. They tunnel along the bottom of every area with hinge grates for every few feet to pop up through. Gargoyles sit high on the walls for easy hiding, and many walls are strategically weakened for quick demolition. This obviously got more complicated when it came time to make the sequel, and much like Resident Evil, the action moved to the big city. How do you explain hordes of thugs around every corner in an active Gotham City? Turn half the city into a walled-off prison, of course. That may sound ridiculous. Yeah, but the absurdity of Arkham City's premise is trumped by its brilliant traversal and overall polishing of the gameplay. And at least Arkham City had an explanation for the on-the-ground chaos. Arkham Origins has roughly the same rampant disorder, set in everyday Gotham. This city doesn't need Batman, it needs a nuking from space. Best part is that would give Bruce more time to deal with Detroit. In summary, I absolutely recommend this entire series if you haven't had the pleasure up until now. I've only just scratched the surface of all the goodies fans of Batman will discover on the journey, and I think you'll find the gameplay holds up very well in 2020. As for me, thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, a quick click of the like button will give this channel a big old boost. If you want more of the same, go ahead and hit the subscribe button too. We have enough vids posted at this point that it's literally impossible a game you love dearly isn't on the list. Check them out.